And we are now live for Tech Tuesday with Broker Bob. I want to welcome everybody. Great to see some people here. Great to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while. Gary Lawrence is back in the room. Glad to see it. And we have Deborah Brown, downtown Deborah Down, all the way from Palm Springs. Good to see it. I see Mariana. I see Denise. Welcome.
Hello.
So if you are able to be on camera, it'd be fantastic. If not, that's okay. So let's start out this week with some wins. I would love to see some wins, and I know I have someone on the line here that had a win this week, and I'm hoping that she will share her win with using Ellie or BrokerBot, and she actually feels that it got her business because of what she was able to have BrokerBot or Ellie. I love Ellie do for her this week. So Deborah, go ahead and share.
All right, I'm going to um, drop this in the chat. So I went on a listing appointment yesterday. Ariana, she's here. Ariana, I finally heard today that I got the listing.
Did?
Yeah, Ariana came with me.
Oh, that is so exciting.
I know, thank you. She's as excited as I am, or maybe even more. Um,
If you drop it in the chat, I'll share it on the screen.
All right, so I'm gonna drop it in the, where you go, chat? All right, hold on.
Don't forget to hit send.
Oh, golly, why me? Why me? 11 years I've been putting up with this.
It's not been that long.
It is 11 years. You started coaching me when I first started.
All right, I'm
Anyway,
going to share your screen while you go ahead and share the story.
okay. Uh, Short story is I got an email. I got an email saying, "Oh, I looked on your website and I'd like to meet with you about a listing." So right away, what does that sound like? That sounds like, yeah, right. Anyway, it was a good.
Yeah, you did text me. Do you think this is fake?
I did it, and I texted all the girls in my tribe too. I was covering all my bases. Anyway, it turned out to be a real listing. And I went last week at Wednesday, and because I didn't know these people and just came over in an email like that, I asked Alicia, who she recommended to come shadow with me so we could both get killed instead of one person, just me. And Ariana came with me, and we did our deal. So anyway, she was meeting with somebody else. My meeting was at 10:45, and her meeting with another agent was at noon. And That's it. So that was last Wednesday. So today, she had been back and forth with me on a lot of things, staging versus non-staging, about pricing and this and that. By the way, she had been on the market. This is a little downtown condo. She had been on the market in September through November, expired it after during Thanksgiving time, and was ready to relist. And she expired it at $50,000 over what the market is dictating today. So I had to come up with some real solid evidence why that we should list it at 439 instead of 484. And so then the moral of this story for tech training is that I used Ellie for the whole entire thing. I had her do my pre-listing package. Of course, I did my work on that, and as well do a pricing strategy. And this beauty right here I sent yesterday, and today I got the email that they decided to go with me. And I honestly feel that, because last night she says to me, "Hey, listen, this other agent just wants to list it at 455 to 460." And I said, "I truly understand, and you have whatever you want to do, that's what I'll do, but here's how I came up with my pricing strategy." I sent this to her, and I got the email this morning that she wants to list with me, and she is going to go with the 439 suggested list price. So that's my story.
Great. So a couple questions on that. The first question is, so actually it's more of a statement. So from an educational standpoint, I'm going to put my coaching brain on right now and my dialogue training. If someone says the other agent wants to price it and it's above the price that you have, a good comeback would be, well, here's what I know about all the years in the business. You can never underprice a home. You can overprice it and it can sit. And from this perspective, she already had it sit on the market. So that would be a soft spot for this potential seller to say, you can never underprice, you can overprice a home. And what do I mean by that, Mr. Seller? So then you explain what that means. What that means is you don't have to accept any offer that comes in at list price, but however, if you put it at a price that will get the market to pay attention to it as a good value for where the market is right now, you're going to have more eyeballs on the property. And the more eyeballs would be that more people will see it and more people want it. And the more people, it's almost like if you go to an auction and everybody wants this one particular painting at that auction because everybody wants it and there's a lot of people at that auction, the price will be overbid at the auction. But if there's only one person that shows up, no one's going to bid against themselves. So you can always say you can always overprice, you can never underprice because the market will adapt. What other questions, Deb, did you do when you're doing the pricing strategy? What were you feeding into Ellie to arrive at this stuff?
Well, I first started, it was a long process with her because I first started asking to do a pre-listing package because I'm only in the business 11 years and I don't have a pre-listing package, nor do I have a listing presentation done, but now I will have it done through that help. But anyway, that was a joke, guys. Anyway, so
I'm not laughing as
I
part of
know,
your coach, not
I know
having a
you know,
pre-listing packet.
I know you're not. So, so I fed it the information I wanted to give her for my pre-listing package. I gave her the address. Really, that was pretty much it. I just fed her the address. She had me. She did a four-step pre-listing package, and it was about the home. She came up with the comps. I had to help her, align everything right. She did a about me page. She didn't have the photo right. I got her to get the photo right, and she said, if this is not right, Scott Leroy will help you. So I finally got that done. So there was an about me page. There was about the market, the downtown market page. There was about the building, comps for the building, and a cover sheet. And it was really great. I had, I added some, I subtracted some, but then at the end, I asked for comps and a pricing strategy, and this is what she came up with.
Nice.
Yeah, she did. She gave me a list of homes on the market and sold. I was not pleased with some of it, so I fed her some additional information. She said thank you. You are correct. And then we made sure that we got all the comps in correctly. And then she did this sheet for me.
That's great feedback. And we'll cover a little bit about that today with the new workflow for the weekly seller report. And what I'm discovering is AI is a great tool where it can come up with stuff really quick. And if you remember my AI use policy, I say AI actually can hallucinate at times. And I truly believe that it, any AI application, and BrokerBot being one of them, is a great application, but you still have to know the industry. You still have to know the competition. You still have to know what's going on out there because they're only an AI generative platform is only pulling data, whereas it's much more than data. Sometimes it's more about a feeling. Sometimes it's more about something that you see they don't see. So you really need to have that tool as well too. So that's a great. Anything else? And I could go through and show in your chat with it, but that I might have to go look for it. Is there anything else you can think of that helped you in preparing for the seller besides, I'm assuming you fed in a pre-listing packet template?
No?
No? Okay. So it helped create you. It created it for you.
Yes. Do you
All
want to
right.
see that?
Well, here, let me see if I can find it.
Okay. There's a lot there. It was a long day that day.
Oh, I
Can I
gotta,
just say, I love that Ellie is able to do all of this for us, but like Robert, like you said, still have to be able to explain the listing presentation.
That's
So
right.
don't just strictly depend on AI to help you. When you show up with that, you still need to know what you're talking about.
Right.
agree.
I think you passed it, Robert.
Yeah, I'm just lining up my screen.
Okay.
All right, so you can see there's Deborah's pretty picture that Ellie's gotten used to, but doesn't appear on the flyer. Like, who's that good-looking lady?
I know. She really wanted me to get the listing.
But your prompt is you use the wrong headshot again. So there's a lot more in here. If I was to go up and get up to all this, if I go back to the very beginning, your prompt, you asked it. Wow, you had a lot in here.
I told you. It was a day.
Yeah. So let me see if I can get. Here was your prompt. Can you create a pre-listing packet that I can email sellers at 889 Date Street, Unit 142? I'll presenting on July 15th and would like to email before sellers are Sue and Bill Ramirez. And then it went through and did all the stuff. And then you asked it again. Okay, got the pre-listing packet about Keller Williams, property overview, Cortez Hill, comparable sales, estimated seller net sheet, marketing and listing strategy, listing process and timeline, key documents you'll see, what can you do to prepare, let's connect, a few notes, and then please give me a step-by-step to create the pre-listing packet to send to the client, is what Deborah asked, so it helped us step by step. And then, thank you, can you transfer this to Canva? Because you
Yeah.
liked what you saw.
Yeah, that
And
didn't
remember,
work.
you got to connect your Canva to BrokerBot. That's in another training. I'm not covering that today. If you don't know how to do it, go in and ask Ellie, how do I connect my Canva account to BrokerBot?
Yeah, that was a pain in the neck. So I just, as you recommended, Robert, just did it through Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah, I will transfer stuff to Canva if I want to modify it, but to be honest, I'm getting such good materials outside of BrokerBot, Ellie, I don't need to recreate it in Canva. So you got the pre-list, the buyer packet, and then it asks you, would you like me to generate additional graphics for the inner pages? And of course, yes, I would, please. By the way, you don't need to say please.
I
It
always
takes
want to say please.
it takes up extra energy.
Oh, is that right?
Um, yeah.
Okay.
But it had really good graphics it started to create for the comps. And then meet your agent in your pre-listing packet graphic, all 4 pages. So then you can't download these, no problem. Then we upload them to Canva. So you can download. What you do is open it up. Well, I'm on a Mac. If you're not,
I
are you
am
on a Mac?
too.
Okay.
Yeah, you can download them. You just got to double click. I don't know how you do it, but
I save it as an image.
that's what I did too.
So I
Yeah.
right click and save as an image, and then I
Right.
name the image.
Right.
Yeah, it won't automatically download. You have to right click it and save it. Oh, it gave you the directions. How about that?
Yeah. That was a pain in the ass. So
Can't
I
believe you
just,
use a Mac, but you're a Droid phone user.
do
Shame,
you not,
shame, shame.
do you not know there are other people on the line that don't care what your opinion about my Android?
You guys make our group text green bubbles. Here's your headshot, your phone number. Again, if you feed all that information in there, it will add the information you need. Still not getting the phone number right or the headshot right. Still didn't get it right. Love this. Make sure you feed the DRE numbers in there. Your DRE as well as the office is in there. More graphics. Let's get down because you're trying to get those graphics done. But eventually in the end,
I did get them done.
It came up with this.
Yeah.
Came up with it. So it's not a quick fix, but the more information you feed into it, you'll eventually get to it.
But it's not that frustrating because what you're doing is you're learning along the way. There is they did finally refine for a 5-page pre-listing package, and then they did that pricing strategy for me. But you're learning along the way, so it's kind of a little frustrating, but it's really interesting. And for me, it's perfect because I'm not a Canva graphics, flyer making girl, and so it was very helpful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here's what I will share. I mean, if you've had tech issues in the last few weeks, yes, Broker Bob is actually kind of spiritual and follows with astrology and numerology. Mercury was retrograde, and Mercury is the planet of communication. So during this period of July, if you're finding your conversations with people are a little bit more heated, it's a good time to stop, pause, and reflect and think before you speak. But also with technology, communication, if you're having tech issues, it's probably because of Mercury. And I was having off the chart problems with tech this past week, and I was really mad at Keller Williams International for transferring DocuSign into Lone Wolf, and we'll cover a little bit of that today. But that was a worst time for them to pick, and they needed to consult with me, like when would be a better time to get rid of DocuSign and go into Lone Wolf. Let's get into that really right now. So Lone Wolf. So you guys, I want to cover that you've got now Lone Wolf instead of DocuSign as part of your tech package. And if you have not set it up and you need to set it up, log into your command and let me reverse first. So Lone Wolf is the application that we currently use with the California Association of Realtors zip form. So it is a member benefit with CAR. So you already have Lone Wolf, which in CAR member fits, it's called AuthentiSign. So you got to disconnect your DocuSign, which is no longer working anyway, and then attach it to your AuthentiSign. As broker, I actually like signing AuthentiSign documents a lot better because it's quicker. DocuSign will spin and spin and spin for about 10 seconds. But with AuthentiSign, it goes a lot quicker. So I like signing. I sign 20, 30, 40, 50 documents a day because you guys are sending me stuff to sign. So I do like AuthentiSign better to sign as a broker because it's quicker for me. But I'm learning how to use Lone Wolf. So if you need to learn how to use Lone Wolf, that's on you. They have videos that are out there. But if you haven't set it up, log into your command, go into this little section right here where I'm hovering where it says quick, right next to my name on top, and then type in, how do I set up Lone Wolf? And it will walk you through exactly what to do. And once you do set up your Lone Wolf, you're going to come into your settings right here above your name, click on settings, and you're going to connect your Lone Wolf inside of zip forms, or I'm sorry, inside of command, but it's not necessary you do this step, but I'm just showing to make sure you have actually Lone Wolf, and then you've got it set up. And then once you've set up Lone Wolf, and you can log in individually with Lone Wolf. So with DocuSign, you don't have to log into zip forms to send a digital signature. You can log into foundation.lwolf.com, and now you're in the AuthentiSign Lone Wolf version where you can go and upload documents here and send them out individually. So you don't have to go into your zip forms to do that. You can do it outside of zip forms. So if you just want to get a document sent really quick to have a sign, this is where you would go do that. So hopefully that explained that. And then if you need to understand how to work Lone Wolf, this little question mark right here, it's got a resource center, quick start guide, Lone Wolf community, webinars, quick training videos, contact support. We appreciate that you guys are contacting leadership, that we know all the answers. We don't. And tech is rapidly changing, and there's no way we can keep up, but we can direct you where to go to actually learn how to implement any new tech that's coming online.
Hey,
So,
Robert,
yes.
where did you just click on it? Where was that last click that you did? to find out how to help and all of that stuff.
Right over here on the top right, next to my initials, RS,
Okay.
click on the little question.
Okay.
Every tech platform has a Q&A or a question mark. If you don't know how to do anything, just ask. And I am finding, so for instance, I'm a little bit older than most people, but I'm really quick at figuring out how to do stuff in technology because I've been using it since before most of you were born. And if I don't know the answer, then I would go to Google and say, how do I do this? How do I do that? I got a new iPhone over the weekend. And by the way, how pain in the butt is to set up a new iPhone. And the new iPhone was doing stuff. I'm like, what is it doing now? How do I fix this? And I don't know every application within an iPhone, but I know how to go to Google and say, here's what my problem is. How do I fix it? And then it gives me the step-by-step to do it. Use Google or Gemini as if you don't know how to do something, go ask the question in there and you'll find out that you might find the answer. So
Evie, quick
yes.
question. Why are we doing away with DocuSigns? I mean,
So-
I have the reverse experience from you. I've been using DocuSign since day one. And I try
if
to
you
use.
have your own DocuSign account, this does not affect you.
Okay.
I'm talking about the KW version of the free version that was in the tech package for DocuSign. But if you've had your own DocuSign, you never transferred over to the KW DocuSign, then that doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
So do you know if you have your own version?
I do.
Okay, then you're good to go.
Okay.
And that was the confusion that was going out because California, we're a little bit different here than every other state in the union. And we had Lone Wolf as part of our tech package. But most people in California use DocuSign. And when we had DocuSign given to us as part of our tech package, a lot of people didn't transfer over with the KW version. They kept their own. It was easier for them. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question.
Still
All right.
confusing.
What did I set up? I know it is. Well, technology. It's changing rapidly. Okay, what did I set up this week? I added something in the Save Time Ask Ellie section, and it is the weekly seller update. And I'm hovering over it right now. What is the weekly seller update? The weekly seller update, once you click on this workflow, it will give you a weekly seller update to go through and request something that takes time to put together. Every time you have a listing, you want to give your seller, they want a weekly update. Well, that takes a lot of time to do. So I went in and used that. So I'm not going to click. Well, let me show you what happens when you do click on it. You click on the weekly seller update, and it says when triggered, generates a professional weekly update email report for the seller of and the property address. The next thing it does, ask the agent these questions one at a time. And of course, I don't like doing this live because it actually, Wendy, keep your stuff muted, please. It actually then takes through a series of questions, and I don't like doing that live on training. But what I'm going to do is go through, and I went through it yesterday and did one. Not that one, sorry. But weekly one for class. Okay. So with permission of Chris Spade, he let me use his active listing right now he has out in East County. And I click the prompt and it says, let's build your weekly seller update report. I'll walk through it step by step. First, what's the property address? Now, what I did was I went in and uploaded the property tax report. I didn't input the address. So if you can see right here, it has a property tax report. I should have input the MLS listing, which I did at a later prompt. But it says, I see you've uploaded the property report. Let me start looking at the document to pull the details. So it read the document. Great, I've pulled the details. Now it reiterates what the address is. You're verifying that you have the right listing. And it went through and did it. And then I realized it didn't know the information that I needed. So then what I did next was I went in and uploaded the MLS printout. But it does ask, what is the list price? It was asking me the question, what is the seller, correct? It verified the seller's names are correct. What's the list price? Which, if I had uploaded the MLS, it wouldn't be asking me this. And what was the days on market so far? So I answered the question, and it took me about 3 times for my brain to work to realize, oh, shoot, let me just go ahead and upload the MLS printout because that'll have all the information it needs. So I eventually did that. But then the next question is asked is, how many showings do you have this week? So I'm pretending I am the listing agent and I'm actually going to tell it I had no showings. Now, if he did have showings, great, then I would have input how many showings I have. So this is where you now need to feed information into Ellie based upon the questions that it's asking. For me, I said no showings this week. Great, got it. No showings this week. Let me keep going. Activity this week continued. Any feedback received from the showing agents or buyers, even if no showings, any comments, questions, or feedback from prior weeks that came in this week. So let's say I had previous feedback that I did not record with Ellie, and I didn't tell Ellie, hey, this listing agent got back to me, or I had a phone call with them. They told me this, they told me that, blah, blah, blah. What I answered was feedback is it shows well, is moderately updated. They like the large open yard, but needs more landscaping or something to make the outside look better. The insurance cost could be an issue if the only insurance you can get is from the California Fair Plan. I input that. I was just guessing, taking a shot in the dark, that's what the feedback I would get because it's East County and most East County listings are having an issue with insurance. So I put what I knew into it. Great, got it. Helpful feedback. Let me summarize what you shared. Shows well, moderately updated, large open yard, but needs more landscaping or something to improve curb appeal, outdoor presentation. Insurance concern, if only California Fair Plan is available, that could be an issue for buyers. Now continuing to step 2, activity this week. Any offers received this week, and did you hold any open houses? Well, no, I didn't hold any open houses. And I didn't say this because this would be feedback that would go in the report, but I would have said, hell no, I didn't open houses. It was 100 freaking degrees out there this week. No way was I going to do an open house. But I did not say that, but I would have said that in the back of my head. Understood, no offers, no open houses. Now step 3, market contacts. Any new competition listed nearby this week. Address and prices if you have them. So as an agent, I would be looking for any new listing because anytime I have a listing, I would be setting myself up on alerts to know what new is coming up in that area so that I can monitor the competition. So that's something you should be doing manually, is making sure you have anything that you know that's coming up on the market in that geographic area because you're basically doing an alert system within the MLS to know what is happening. And I actually was sassy. I said, well, I want you to go out and look for new listings when you do your research on new market activity and listings. Don't do that. Well, you can do that, but you should input, yes, I do see there's 2 new listings. One is this address and one is that address. So pull that into your comps. And then here is the live listing information sheet. So what I did was, this is right here. This is when I got smart enough. It took me like 4 or 5 times to realize, let me just input the live listing sheet in there. So it pulled all the details. It got the market context. Any new competition listed nearby this week? I didn't see any. I want you to search. So I was being lazy. Then it says it will search for all new market activity around this listing. Good, I found relevant results. Now, it'll say here Zillow blocked. Let me try Redfin or Realtor. I was speaking live with BrokerBot tech support, and they said disregard this. It will do stuff like that, but eventually it go fix it. And it did. It finally got it. So it did find a summary of what they found in step 3 of the relevant competition in homes with acreage, larger lots, and similar price ranges. So it actually brought these in. And the key takeaway for the listing, there's not a lot of direct acreage competition at your exact price point. Most comparable lot size properties are either priced well below or above. Now it went to step 3, market context. Any price reductions on nearby competition that you've noticed? I said no. All right, since I haven't seen any price reductions from you, and let me also note that from my market scan, I didn't spot any obvious price cuts on the direct competition either, though Redfin sold comp pages were blocked, so I couldn't pull exact. That's a lie. It could pull it. And then it asked, what was my marketing activity? So I took a guess. I still have my social media campaign promoting it on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I still have my signage. I went to Broker Caravan, that area, and pitched it to the local brokers in the area. I also did reverse prospecting inside the MLS, reaching out to agents who have buyers that fit that listing. The reason I put this was because this will go in the report to let the seller know this is what I'm doing to promote your house. Now, I only use this as an example. You might have a lot more stuff you're doing, and you should be. Maybe you're doing just listed, just sold cards. Maybe you're walking the neighborhood. As much as you can show the seller in the weekly report, then the seller knows you're actually doing something. Here's what I know. The number one feedback that sellers feel from a listing agent that we hear time and time again, I never hear from my agent. And then all of a sudden, you're coming to them after 45, 60 days, and you're going to talk a price enhancement. And they're like, well, wait a minute, why are we doing a price enhancement? If you're giving feedback along the way, they're seeing it from a weekly report, what the activity is and what's going on, and the new listings coming on the market and the competition. The more feedback you give to your clients, the happier they're going to be with your service. But when you come to them and say, we need to start talking a price enhancement to reflect current market conditions, then they're not caught off guard. So the more information you can send to your seller during that time, the better it is. So it said, got it. Social media, signage, broker caravan, reverse prospecting. Now, step 5, agent's commentary. This is your section. A few questions to guide you. What's your overall assessment of how the week went? Any concerns or adjustments you want to flag? Any action items for sellers? Blah, blah, blah. So I was and this was me pressing the microphone button and just speaking into it. And basically, I was saying, well, we're approaching the lengthy time in the market without having much activity, which when we discussed putting the home on the market, we talked about the first 21 days being when any hot active buyers on the market will come and see the property. Now that activity has gone down, what we look at now is the area. It's no longer we have to remember. Now, remember, this is me talking free form, so a lot of it doesn't make sense. But I started talking about home pricing is how we price a home as more of a marketing technique rather than determination of value. And we can never underprice a home, but we can overprice a home. And the longer it sits on the market, it can lose value. So I was actually saying that in the agent commentary so that when it wrote the report, it would actually say that. So any specific action items for sellers? I did say an action item was they need to talk to their neighbors and see who their insurer is and speak to their existing insurance agent about quotes for potential buyers. So I'm giving feedback for our sellers on what they should be doing to help me with the sale of this property. And then it came up with the weekly seller update report. And week in a snapshot gave the list price, the days on market, total days on market, and the days on market. Showings this week, offers received, open houses, showing activity and feedback. So again, if you're giving activity and feedback, you should be feeding it into this while you're doing this market activity or saving it and recording it so you can send it in. And then it does the market activity update. It gives you the number of listings in the Lakeside area, the median sales price, where it's down 6.2% year over year. So it's showing directly what's going on in that particular market of San Diego. Not every market in San Diego is up. Some is down, and mostly East County is the farther in your east you go, the more probability that it's down year over year. This was the same way we went through the market shift, market crash in 2008. It was like a tidal wave. The further in East County, the worse the properties did. Closer to the coast, everybody wants to live by the ocean. It didn't suffer as much. It brings in nearby competition. Then it shows market activity this week. Oh, it also showed no significant price reductions were observed in nearby competition this week. It highlighted the activity, and then it gave my outlook and recommendation from what I actually told it. And it says, we are now approaching a meaningful point in the marketing timeline. As we discussed when we first listed, the initial 21-day window is typically when the most active, ready-to-buy purchasers come through, and that initial surge of activity is now past. It's important to remember that pricing a home is a marketing technique, not a determination of value. The list price is a tool to attract the maximum number of qualified buyers. The actual sale price is what the market determines at a negotiation table. If our current market conditions and with activity having slowed, I recommend we discuss a price modification to reflect current market conditions, and you can copy and paste that. You never, ever, ever say price reduction to a seller. It is like nails on a chalkboard. You'll always want to use price modification to reflect current market conditions, not because the home isn't worth the current price, but because a strategic adjustment will generate fresh eyes on the property and re-engage buyers who have previously overlooked it. So highly, highly recommend you use that verbiage with every seller when you're modifying a price to reflect current market conditions. Matter of fact, memorize that word for word, because you're going to bring it up every year. And then it gave me seller action items, insurance, get ahead of the concern, landscape, curb appeal. Next steps, let's connect this week to discuss the price modification strategy and any progress on the insurance and landscaping items. I'm available at your convenience. And then it asks, would you like me to draft this into an email to send to your sellers? I did not do that. However, if I did do it, I would say yes. Send to my seller. Because I have my email connected. And I will add email addresses. So I'll show you guys what that looks like later, but I'm gonna let it generate that.
Hey, Robert, can
Yes.
we, is that paragraph available anywhere? I really like that. The one about the price modification.
On my agent recommendations,
Yeah, yeah.
I will drop it in the chat.
You're a groovy guy.
It is now sitting in the chat. If anybody wants to go grab it, have at it.
Got it.
Okay, no. Okay. Deborah, what's your email?
Deborah, DEBRA .brown @kw.com.
Not true. It's done it before.
I think it's retrograde till the 23rd, by the way.
Sometimes, when it does stuff like that, say you're lying. You can create a draft and I'll add the email address later. I've done it a million times. But Mercury's retrograde. So then it says, so it's sitting there in the draft created. And you'll go look at your drafts and it's not sitting there. It just takes a little bit. Give it some time. Patience is not my strong point. Eventually it will show up. There it is, right there. So if you got your email set up, there's your market update report. Boom. Now, how long would it take you to write that email? Who snizzed? Was that Deborah? All right. Questions, comments, feedback. Want me to review anything? See, everybody has their cameras up, but Deborah and Gary. All right. Anybody have any comments, questions? So Deborah, now moving forward, when you get that listing at Date Street, you'll be able to do a weekly seller report because you've already got a lot of the information in there. So you can go into that previous chat.
Absolutely. I think that will be great.
And when you're in that previous chat, if you want to keep it all in the same section, what you can do is, let me show you what you'll do. Share screen. So I'm going to go back into, all right, go away. I want to get out of this. So you go back to your previous chat and you've already got this thing pre-listing packet. You can rename it if you want to. So you just keep everything inside that one chat. And you would go into that chat and type in weekly seller update because that's the keyword for the prompt for the weekly seller updates.
So good. That's all I have to put in there?
That's all. Well, I hope so.
Okay. We'll see.
All right, let me see. I'll plug it in and see what it does. It's thinking. Yes, it is a trigger. It's going. She's looking. She's looking. Let's see if she finds it. Got it. Yay.
So good.
So it will now take you through it. And because of that, Ellie gave you 3 more hours in your day back to go find more sellers that need help or spend time at the pool.
That's right.
All
That was,
right.
that was great.
In closing, Ellie is a tool. It is not perfect. Sometimes you might need to review what Ellie's output is. But once you learn the ins and the outs, and I've been using generative AI for a long time, and I'm finding out it's not perfect, but it does. If you go back and know you can correct it, because I've actually said to Claude, that's not correct. That's not what I see. And I've said to BrokerBot a lot, that is not correct because I know what I need to get the information I need out of it. So that is it, kids. I hope you guys learned something new. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch the replays. And that's it. Everybody have a great day.
Thank
Well
you.
talking.